On December 28, 1963, a 17-year-old boy in San Diego made a decision that would terrify every scientist who studied him. He was going to stop sleeping. Not for a night, not for a weekend, for 11 days straight. No drugs, no stimulants, no supervision, just a teenager, 2 friends, and an alarm clock. And by day 4, something had already gone very, very wrong. His name was Randy Gardner, a completely normal high school student in San Diego, California. It was Christmas break. He had read about a DJ who claimed to have stayed awake for 260 hours, and Randy had one simple thought: I can beat that. His parents were uneasy. His friends were excited. His doctor said it was probably fine. Nobody had any idea what they were about to witness. The first day was easy. Randy stayed up with 2 classmates who took shifts, keeping him awake. Basketball, pinball, conversation. By hour 24, he was tired but functional, clear-headed enough to laugh and argue. This felt manageable. It wasn't. By day 2, his eyes stopped focusing properly. Reading became impossible. Television became a blur. His friends noticed he was getting irritable, short-tempered, over nothing. His sense of humor was quietly disappearing. By day 3, he could no longer identify objects by touch alone. A simple test. Place something in his hand without letting him see it. He couldn't tell you what it was. His brain was already beginning to disconnect from his own senses, but nobody stopped the experiment. Day 4 is where this story stops being about a science fair. Randy looked at a street sign and saw a person standing next to it. There was no person. He was fully awake, eyes open, standing in broad daylight, and he was hallucinating, not vague shapes. A completely distinct human figure his brain had manufactured from nothing and placed into the real world in front of him. His friends wrote it down and kept going. Here is what was actually happening inside his brain. Sleep is not rest. That is the single most important thing almost everyone gets wrong. Sleep is maintenance. Every night your brain runs a biological cleaning cycle. A system called the glymphatic system activates and flushes out toxic waste proteins that built up during the day. One of those proteins is called beta amyloid, the same protein found in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. When you sleep, it gets cleared. When you don't, it builds. By day 4, Randy's brain had been running without maintenance for 96 hours. The toxic buildup was interfering with the basic systems that separate reality from imagination. His hallucinations were not random. They were his brain misfiring under the weight of its own waste. Word got out. A Stanford sleep researcher named Dr. William Dement drove to San Diego specifically to observe Randy. What he found disturbed him deeply. Randy was still functional in some ways. He could hold conversations. He could walk. He could beat Dement at pinball repeatedly, which Dement noted with genuine surprise. But Randy had also started believing he was a famous American football player. Not pretending, not joking. He genuinely believed it. His identity was beginning to dissolve. By day 6, Randy could not complete simple sentences. He would begin a thought and then stop mid-word, staring blankly, having completely forgotten what he was saying. By day 8, his hands were trembling. By day 9, his memory was failing so badly that he could not remember events from earlier the same day. By day 10, Randy Gardner was a shell of the boy who had started this experiment. He was awake, technically, but the person behind his eyes was somewhere else entirely. On January 8, 1964, at 6:04 in the morning, Randy Gardner crossed 264 hours without sleep. He had beaten the record. He sat in front of a room full of reporters and gave a press conference. He did not slur his words. He answered questions coherently. He even made a joke. Then he went home and slept for 14 hours and 40 minutes. Not days, not weeks, 14 hours. He woke up feeling almost completely normal, and that fact alone terrified the scientists more than anything else. Because here is what the experiment actually proved. It was not that humans can survive without sleep. It was that the damage sleep deprivation causes happens in real time, invisibly, at a level most people never see coming. Randy recovered. Most people in his situation would not have been so lucky. Today, Randy Gardner is in his late 70s, living quietly in San Diego. He rarely talks about the experiment, but in a 2017 interview, he admitted something that stopped the interviewer cold. He said he now suffers from severe insomnia. The man who once forced himself to stay awake for 11 days now cannot sleep at all, and he believes the experiment broke something inside him that never fully healed. You probably won't stay awake for 11 days, but you are likely sleeping less than your brain needs to clear the waste that built up today. And unlike Randy Gardner, you won't have a room full of scientists documenting what it's doing to you. You'll just wake up one day and wonder why nothing feels quite right anymore.